don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Why can't we remember a goddamn thing from last night? Because we obviously had a great fucking time.
Hit the button.
I hit the button.
Hey.
Woohoo!
It's
Podcast begin.
It's a podcast.
Episode 14. Jason's here.
Chris is here.
Woohoo!
Jason's drinking.
Not at the moment, but I will be again. I have decided, that these podcasts will probably be more entertaining if I'm drinking vodka and orange juice. I also decided I needed something to drink. I only had orange juice, and I don't drink orange juice plain.
You must always have vodka in your orange juice.
Yep.
Those are your rules.
Jason's rules for life.
This is like my rules. If I go to a restaurant and order coffee, I must order breakfast food.
Exactly. If Jason receives orange juice, clearly there must be vodka in it.
It's like, if I want a sandwich and fries, I must order a soda.
Yeah.
Coffee does not work.
Yeah. I'm not that weird, but
There's nothing weird about
that's
that.
completely weird. I have
Coffee
soda
goes
with
with breakfast food.
I don't drink coffee.
Well, then why are you saying anything?
Because I eat breakfast food with soda all the time.
That is just terrible. That is wrong.
No, it's not.
Soda is not a breakfast beverage.
Why?
Because it's bubbly.
So are mimosas that get served at breakfast all the time.
No, they are served at brunch.
Half breakfast.
It's half lunch.
So it's still half breakfast.
Yeah, the orange juice part is the breakfast part.
So champagne is for lunch.
Champagne is a lunch drink.
What do you have for lunch today? A salad? Really? It's actually just grapes. Really? Nah, fermented grapes. I'm
What?
drinking wine.
You're drinking? At lunch?
It's dinner time. I've had dinner. Now I'm having my after dinner drink.
What about Linner?
I haven't gotten to dinner yet. I once dreamed up that word and thought it was unique, and that's one of the many words I thought was unique until I learned it wasn't. Kind of like spork.
Yes.
At one point in my childhood, I sat at my elementary school with my friends, and we were served sporks for the first time.
Mm.
Not labeled. Nobody explained to us what they were. And we literally sat there, and I held it up and was like, it's a spoon fork. It's a spork. Then years later, I discovered that's just what they were called. And I was like, I invented that word.
Nah.
Me and millions of other people
Yes.
invented that word at the same time.
Isn't it funny how certain ideas just are, universally kind of developed at a similar
Yeah.
time?
Yeah, well, if the internet has taught me anything, none of us are special and none of us are unique.
Nothing is original.
Nothing is original.
No.
Everybody has thought of everything before, and it's like the fucking Matrix. All of this has happened before, and all of it will happen again.
And that is
No,
why.
it's Battlestar Galactica. Never mind.
That is why. Probably 15 years in, we're now starting a podcast.
Yeah.
Because everybody else is.
Why not?
And what are we going to talk about? Same shit everyone else talks about.
But why are we doing it?
Because we're funny.
Well, we think we're funny.
We think we're funny.
I'm convinced I'm funny. By the time I'm done with that cup, I'm gonna be hilarious.
You're going to be certain you're funny.
I am goddamn guaranteed to be funny.
Whoa!
Guaranteed.
There we go.
That's the Vince McMahon approach to things.
That's the
Guaranteed-
guaranteed humor and entertainment.
Guarantees it. Oh look, there's a software update for my iPad. I'm not doing it. That's the one that gives you the multicultural. Whoa!
Hey,
Hello!
that was a what?
I've only had 3 sips of my drink.
iPad on the loose.
No, the current software is the one that provides multicultural emojis.
Ooh.
So if you click on your emoji and hold it, you can pick Asian and black people and all kinds of other whatever, because that was necessary. Because yellow is clearly only for The Simpsons, and that was racist.
Oh, so that's what they changed the skin tone?
Yeah,
of the
if you
emoticons?
go to the emoticon and hold it, which when did it stop being an emoticon and when did they start being emojis? I don't know, because they were always emoticons when they
Yeah.
first. Now they're emojis. At some point, that term changed in the cultural
Did the
universe.
is the emojis like the more, I'll say, graphical ones?
I know, but they've all become that. So it's like, I think they're just colloquially referred to as emojis now. They used to be emoticons. But either way, yeah. So if you go to your
Fucking smiley face. If you have to do more than smiley face or frowny face, you have too much time on your hands.
yeah,
I can even accept the :P
yeah,
sticking
with
out your tongue. You have 3 options.
You
If
know,
cannot-
on a completely different conversation, being accepting of :P is an entirely different scenario than what we're talking about right now.
Yes.
I can accept :P, but I can't. So
But you have 3 options.
yes, colon. Oh no! What about the winky? The semicolon.
Yes,
finally.
winky face works.
Yeah,
Let's put it this way. If you could do it on a TI-84 calculator,
you can do a lot on a TA-84 calculator.
I remember sitting in
I can play Snake on my TA-85.
I remember sitting in a trigonometry class
Yep.
in high school,
Yep.
not paying attention to
Yep.
a damn thing, just trying to figure out how many different faces I could make
Yep.
out of this. And this would have been 1996,
My freshman year in high school.
my junior year.
Yeah, you old motherfucker.
God damn.
Speaking of, happy birthday, you're a year older. Ha
Fuck.
ha.
I don't know how that happened. I don't
Well, your mom and dad went on a date.
We start at the beginning. But
when,
like-
when a man and a woman love each other, Chris.
wait, I thought
They have
that was
sex.
I thought that was the stork.
Oh, yeah. They
Wait.
beat a stork to death and rob its children.
Wait, so why can't I fly? I flap my arms, I jump off buildings. All I
Which
do
came
is go
first,
splat.
the Chris or the egg?
Well, the egg.
Are you sure? The stork or the egg?
Oh, no. But I have now been out of high school for 18 years.
Good for you.
It is terrifying.
Yeah, it is. Lisa was telling me earlier that one of her teacher friends' kids that she had in like 1st or 2nd grade is graduating high school like this year. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's just. What did I hear? I heard on the radio the other day. And it was like, yeah, the kid from The Sixth Sense is turning 27.
Have you seen? That was Haley Joel Osment.
Yeah.
Right? Everything grew up on him, but his face. His
I-
face never aged.
I've seen pictures of him over time.
Well,
not
it's like I watched. He was
recently.
in Tusk.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he played the main character, the kid, the main
You are not helping me.
actor in the film.
Justin
Long. Thank you. Is the main
Right.
character in the movie.
The protagonist?
Yes, his best friend is Haley Joel Osment's character,
Okay, so
who does a podcast with him.
so he is
They do a podcast,
so he is a character. It'd be better if his best friend was Haley Joel Osment.
literally.
Yeah, it's him.
just Haley Joel Osment.
Yeah.
No, Haley Joel Osment plays a character in the film.
Ah,
He does not play himself.
I like my idea better.
It would be entertaining. So, but no, you could see it on display in that movie. But yeah, the past 20 years of Haley Joel Osment's life, everything grew around his face. His face was like frozen in
He's
time.
immortalized.
It's very flat and it's very strange. Oh, good fucking God. So, yeah. It's another day.
It's another day.
Another day, another show.
Better day than my day yesterday. I got to spend my birthday at the DMV.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because, yeah, my license was finally expiring, and it was expiring on my birthday.
Well,
so I
because-
waited till the last possible day to go into the DMV.
Because that's perfect sense.
Oh, absolutely. So,
And do tell us about your wonderful tale of your day at the DMV.
yeah.
Because
So,
when you say you spent a day at the DMV, it sounds like an ordeal.
you know what? The DMV really still has just a bad rap.
Yeah.
I don't think it is as bad as it once was. At one point in its life, the DMV was just a cesspool of awful.
Yeah, and ever since especially when they instituted the automatic numbering paging system
Yeah.
for all different things that you're there for, it's been much better.
Yeah. But I get there, and I walk in, and it's like I looked at the webpage, you know, to check all the whatever documentation I'd have to bring. Now, I've had a potential issue with renewing my license. From the last time I did, they go in and they're like, oh, you know, the system is telling me, you know, that your license from the previous state you lived in is suspended because you don't have insurance.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm like, well, I currently have a valid license in this state, and this state requires insurance. So what's the problem? And the lady goes, I'll just push it through, but next time you come in, you'll probably have to take care of it.
So.
That was 6 years ago. Okay?
So past Chris.
I have moved several times and have never updated my license, so I still have like a really old address on it and everything.
So you established future Chris
Yes.
will have this problem.
Correct. I knew it was a problem, but that was future Chris's problem.
So current Chris at the time, which is now past Chris, said, you know what? Future Chris, you deal with this.
That is future Chris's problem. That is an issue for another day. Right now, I don't have to worry about it.
And that day, 6 years later, came spectacularly fast.
Yes, it all of a sudden showed up, and I waited till the last possible day.
Of course.
And I walked in not knowing what was going to be the problem.
There's no way this could possibly go wrong. You're just like Mr. Bradley Egren last week with his Kickstarter.
So
nothing could go wrong.
So I grab a couple pieces of bank statements and other stuff just to prove address and stuff like that, and I just have it in my pocket just in case. And I go walk in there with essentially no paperwork pre-filled out or any of that stuff.
Just walked in cold.
Pretty much. I walk in.
My license is expiring today. What do I do?
Yeah, that is what I said. I walked up to the information desk. I said, my license is expired today. I got to renew it. What do I need to do? And she goes, fill this sheet out and come back to me.
Yeah.
Great. So I kind of walk a couple feet over to one of the counters and start filling it out. And the guy behind me in line, same deal. He needed to renew his driver's license. But he's a guy about like our parents' age.
Okay.
Late 50s, early 60s. He had a couple folders worth of paperwork, and he had his all his paperwork pre-filled out and ready to go. He was completely.
He has spent the last 6 years preparing for this day.
Prepared. He had every possible piece of paper he could have needed, and it was all pre-done. It was all pre-planned.
That man lives in the moment.
That man was prepared, and much kind of like our parents, they're prepared for those kind of things.
Yeah.
I went in cold.
Absolutely. Why not?
I went in with nothing.
Because we can always call our parents.
What do I do?
What do I do?
So I fill out the paperwork, go back up the information, looks at it, and she's like, okay, and hands me my ticket.
Yeah.
She goes, okay, go over there, and they'll take your photo.
Yep.
Okay. Now, the guy behind me is now in front of me because he was prepared.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
They take his photo. Great. He goes and sits down in the waiting area.
Mm-hmm.
Take my photo. Great. I go sit down in the waiting area. I sit down. I'm putting a couple things back into my wallet.
Yep.
And not paying attention to the paging system at all.
Of course not. Why
Okay.
would you?
Because I had just sat there. I wasn't even sitting for 10 seconds.
Yep.
And one of the guy from one of the counters, who was the guy who took my picture,
Yeah.
goes, Christopher, it's your turn. They had already paged my number.
Wow.
I go walking up there.
That's amazing.
Before the guy that was prepared. So I go walking up there and kind of explain what's going on.
Yeah.
And I had the most pleasant conversation with this young man as he gets me, through everything. He recognized that it was my birthday, informed me that it was his birthday next week, so we had a nice conversation, and we talked about, other paperwork kind of stuff. It was great. It was pleasant. I believe it was all because of me.
Absolutely.
I'm sure I was the high point of his day.
Clearly.
You
bring joy to everyone you meet. Right?
Correct. I will not dispute this. I was told that repeatedly this week on multiple occasions. I had a woman that I was talking to. It was just a complete kind of cold call.
Yeah.
And when I got done talking with her, she goes, "Well, this has just been a delight." So I'm a fantastic person, but
All right.
So as I'm talking with the guy at the DMV, he's like, are you just renewing your license, or are you doing this new real ID that everyone is going to need to have? I go, well, I'm just doing my regular license because I don't have all the documentation for the other one. That will be future Chris's problem. I told him that as well. But essentially, I was in and out of the DMV in at most 15 minutes.
Nice.
And it was completely painless, and I went outside and enjoyed the rest of my day. But it could have gone horribly, horribly wrong. I could have walked in there and they could have said, yes, your previous state's driver's license is still suspended. We have suspended your current driver's license. You will have to go to court to do this or that and whatever.
So what we've discovered here is current Chris is trouble free.
Oh yes.
Current Chris pushes all his problems off onto future Chris. Any problem that comes up, you go, you know what? Future Chris's problem.
And here's the other thing that I learned.
Yeah.
You know, nothing is current Chris's problem.
Yep.
For right now. And if you wait long enough, problems fix themselves.
No. That is not true.
They no longer become an issue.
They're just no longer current Chris's problem. You know why? Because then you just blame past Chris for everything.
He's
you know what?
a dick.
Past Chris is an asshole. If past Chris would have just fixed this, we wouldn't have this problem. But at the time, past Chris was current Chris, and current Chris said, you know what? Future Chris's problem.
You know what I'm gonna do?
So future Chris took that problem and said, fuck past Chris. I'm going to do what I can to band-aid the solution, and the rest becomes future Chris's problem again.
You, sir, are correct. The
It's a
band-aiding of the
never-ending
solution.
cycle.
The band-aiding of the solution is the high point of that. Yes.
It is this never-ending circle of awfulness.
Nothing is ever fixed.
It's always someone else's fault.
It is present Chris's MO is to band-aid the problem and push it onto future Chris. Future Chris despises past Chris.
If there were someone to make a time travel movie out of your life,
Future Chris is gonna beat the shit out of past Chris, but current Chris doesn't
Well,
care.
he won't know.
That's past Chris's problem.
No, he'll just avoid the issue and wait for future Chris to deal with it.
That's a different timeline. I don't have to worry about that.
And you'll be chasing yourself for eternity. When future Chris comes back to kill you,
No.
fuck that.
No, it's a different timeline. It's branching. It's not Terminator cyclical.
You've ripped a hole in the space-time continuum by never solving your problems.
That is why I currently have 2 buckets in my bathroom catching drips. One from a toilet, one from a sink.
Because current Chris doesn't care. Current Chris is carefree.
That is future Chris's
He
problem.
spent his day having pleasant conversations at the DMV. Buckets, they're doing their job.
Because I know what a pain in the ass that project's gonna be.
So future
I just
Chris,
don't have to do it today.
Yeah, eventually, future Chris will have to deal with that.
Yep. And until that day comes,
And once that day comes, past Chris will be just crucified for it. Future Chris will do whatever the fastest, cheapest, and simplest solution is to fix it. And anything else will become future Chris's problem again.
yes, it is constantly pushed to the future. We need to somehow record a bit where future Chris can call back to past Chris and do like somehow there's this magical iPhone where future Chris can FaceTime back to present Chris and just fucking screams and yells at him.
No, and then you tell him, no, hold on, I think you're looking for past Chris. Let me conference him in. Past Chris? What?
What?
This is future Chris.
What? Wait.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Why don't you fix the goddamn button?
Because it was only a little problem.
You asshole! My house fell apart.
Now look! And then he pans back, and the world's on fire. It's the fucking apocalypse.
If you just would have fucking fixed that pipe and not put a bucket under it.
It was a big bucket.
The water and the metal in the pipe caused a chemical reaction with the plastic in the bucket and caused a fucking zombie apocalypse. Oh god. If you just would have fixed the marble.
No, that is a reality show. Past, present, and future Chris all together.
Should just do like a Jerry Springer episode with all three of you on the couch at once.
Future Chris is, I spend my existence cleaning up after these assholes.
Current Chris is like, I don't know what's going on.
I'm good.
I took care of it.
Don't worry. These things resolve themselves.
Don't they? I just assume everything fixes itself. I've never fixed anything before.
I don't have to.
You always deal with it.
It gets done.
You always deal with it. It's always your fucking fault. I don't have anything to do with it.
I'm just the middleman. All right, I know what we're leading with on our best of DVD.
I know what we're naming this episode. I'm taking over the accidental one from earlier. This episode's been called Past, Present, and Future.
Past me is a dick.
That guy's a fucking cock.
Oh,
Hate that motherfucker.
because you can always do it. You go, God damn it! If past me would have done this instead of this.
I just would have fucking done that years ago.
God damn it.
What an asshole.
When I had money back in 1997, why the fuck didn't I invest
Why
in
did-
Apple? I'd be a millionaire.
Why did I waste $300 on that stupid thing 13 years ago?
Damn, past me is an asshole.
I would have just taken that $40 and bought that instead of this.
Why the fuck do I have an entire crate full of unopened Star Wars figures from 1998?
Why do I have $30,000 in DVDs and Blu-rays? Oh, God. Holy shit.
I'm just the middleman between the past and the future.
Oh, God.
Good opening. Good opening.
Good solid show open today, man. I got nothing
Alright,
anywhere
you know
near as
what?
entertaining as
We're
that.
going down from there.
It's all downhill from here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have peaked.
The show has peaked.
You know,
If you tune out now, we
we
understand.
would appreciate it if you continued to listen, but fully understand if you decide to tune out
Continue
now.
to listen all the way end. I promise there'll be a surprise at the end. Bonus for making it all the
There
way.
will be a surprise because future Chris will make an appearance.
I guarantee by the end of this show, future Chris will make an appearance. We'll have had all three iterations of Chris on the show during this podcast recording we're doing right now.
Nope.
All three versions of Chris will make an appearance. Right now, current Chris is here at the moment.
Past Chris, in this instance, though, told a fantastic story.
Yeah, somehow he's growing out of this asshole thing that we've just labeled him with. He seems like a pretty good storyteller, if nothing else. He's a dick, but he can tell a story.
Well, if you listen to last week's podcast, that's not the case.
Well, as far as we can tell, though, past Chris should probably just kill himself.
That is what he's heard.
See, it's true. He's an asshole. Why doesn't past Chris just kill himself? Oh, wait, current Chris and future Chris will never have anything to worry about.
No, I'm telling you, that's branching timelines. In some timeline, past Chris listened to James.
But if past Chris gets killed, there can never be a future Chris.
In that timeline.
But if it's a completely alternate timeline,
Yes.
So there's multiple iterations of you.
It's constantly branching.
Okay, so it's not. So
With
you're
every-
not a constant. There's different versions of you in every timeline.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Yes. This isn't Terminator kind of time travel where it's
Yeah.
all cyclical.
Yeah, or Back to the Future, or
Right.
Bill and Ted, or
Yeah. It is constantly branching.
so it's like what am I looking for? Was that movie Primer? I think is the one I told you about, like that. It's the one where I think it's Primer. Guy and his buddy or something. It's a real low budget indie sci-fi time travel. It's really good though. He invents a time machine, and then he starts getting like he sees someone like hunting him,
Mm-hmm.
and there's constantly like, somebody after him. So he uses the time machine then to go back and try and figure out who's after him.
Oh, I
And it
remember.
ends up
Yes.
being like this totally fucking paradoxical story because it's him,
Hunting
the
himself.
the person, he's hunting himself, and he's hunting himself to try and tell his other self to not send anyone else back after him. So when he goes back again, he's hunting the person that he was hunting him.
Mm-hmm.
So now the person who's hunting him isn't actually hunting him. He's trying to warn him because he's got like the shit beat out of him by the other version of him, and all three of them have no idea who the other one is. They are all him, and they don't know who each other are.
Interesting.
It was a real cool take on it, and you don't even really know who they are watching the movie until you get kind of close.
But don't they all look the same?
You don't ever see them.
Ah, okay.
Like they're all, like the dude.
They're
he's
like in shadow or in
all
dark.
shadow, and
Gotcha.
he's all ragged and bloody and whatnot. You don't even recognize him. He's just got the shit kicked out of him,
Gotcha.
and you have no clue who it is. And towards the end, you finally realize what's happening. And I think like the third iteration, the guy who was hunting the hunter, kind of is the one that ends up surviving it all and destroying the machine and kind of carrying on again, you know. But it's a real fucking chaotic thing because it all just happens out of nowhere and he has no clue what's happening. But it's time travel,
Right.
so there wouldn't be any delay, you know. It's all happening at once, you know. So all of a sudden he's got somebody after him. And he's like, "What the fuck? You know,
Right.
why is this happening?" You know.
In this case, future him is the dick.
Exactly, opposite problem of you.
See, I live in the world where it's every possibility that could happen does happen.
Yeah.
In some branching, alternate reality.
Everything's a parallel world.
Yes.
Yes. It's like sliders.
Yes. So there is a version of the world where past Chris did invest a whole bunch of money in Apple in 1997 and is now worth millions of dollars.
That guy's a genius.
That guy is a genius.
You should kill him and take his place.
First, I got to invent the time machine.
Well, not necessarily a time machine,
Well,
but
just
some
something
sort
that
of parallel dimension.
something that would allow me to hop dimensions,
You need to go contact Jerry O'Connell.
which
He's got the device from Sliders.
which I obviously never will create because I'm still here.
You don't know that. Maybe you just haven't made it yet.
Not in this.
That's-
Not in
that's
this
like-
reality.
That's like the one. I can't remember what I was reading. It was who wrote it. I'm not going to attribute it to anybody because I can't remember offhand. But somebody was talking about time travel. It was from theoretical physicists and whatnot. It was an article I was reading not that long ago. They said by everything they can figure out, time travel may be possible. And this is, I think it was around the time I was reading the article of how they figured it out based on GPS time sync problems between like satellites. If
Okay.
you remember months ago, I was telling that story.
yeah.
And it happens with astronauts too. They go into space and time moves just ever so slower. Like it's nanoseconds and milliseconds and stuff, but it's enough to be measurable when you're looking for it. So they figured out that it is theoretically possible, and it's all based on relativity and whatnot. And we learned a lot about that in Interstellar, you know. But the only thing you can't ever do is go backwards in time. So what they figured out was the reason we haven't met a time traveler yet is because we haven't invented time travel yet, and time travelers can't go you can't go anywhere before you've invented time travel.
Oh, so it's like
It's like as soon as the day you invent time travel, it's like maybe you can go back in time, but you can't go back. It was they said you can't You couldn't ever go back before you invented it in the first place.
Hence the reason Marty McFly was able to go back to 1955.
Correct, because that was the day Doc Brown invented time travel.
Yep.
But then they went back to 1885.
Never mind.
So, but if they stopped
Ah,
there,
that's fiction.
if they stopped there, that would be the thing. But even that wouldn't be, because he didn't really invent it until 1985. So in the Back to the Future, it would be like they could go anywhere in time they wanted to
In the
in
future.
the future, but they could never go before that date in 1985. That was it. Was some theoretical physicist paper trying to base it all on the ridiculously super pseudoscience-y shit.
So then my assumption is that the guy, most likely some garage tinkerer, would invent time travel. And then he's going to go forward in time a couple centuries, grab a couple pieces of technology, come back and reverse engineer them because he's seen Next Generation.
Entirely possible. So, but I thought that was a nice realistic take on the possibility of it. It's like, that's why, because that's the one argument that everybody always has. Well, why haven't we met one yet? How do you know? You know,
Maybe we have. Maybe they're just really
Yeah.
keep it all on
Yeah.
the down low.
maybe you don't know yet, but they explained what's like, well, if we look at it from this perspective, you know, based on all the laws and things that we've seen now and whatnot through space and whatnot. So it was neat.
Just think though, there are really super smart sci-fi nerds out there that spend their time thinking of all these theoretical stuff that has shown up in like sci-fi and fiction and Star Trek, and that is what they spend their time doing.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out real ways to do all
the
this
shit they saw on
great
TV.
stuff from TV and books.
Like the transporter that they invented, you know, that they were legitimately able to like transport fucking like molecules from like one petri dish to another like 3 meters away or something. It was like, holy shit, it's a fucking transporter.
Yeah, this is a real thing.
Yeah.
We can do this.
We made it. There it is. You know, wireless electricity, you know, crap like that.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I have not applied my nerddom in such a way.
No, neither have I. I'm more than happy to sit back and be a fan. I don't
Yes.
have that kind of time.
No.
My problem is I hate school. I could never go through enough school. I don't want to live in a school and work in a school and do nothing but schoolwork for the rest of my life.
I'm not that smart.
I think I'm pretty smart. I'm just not that dedicated.
This is all like numbers and stuff.
I'm
I
more
don't
than
work with
happy to be able to
numbers.
sit down and watch a movie like Interstellar and get it.
Right.
Where the vast majority of people are going, huh?
Mm.
I grasp the concept. I understand it. No further explanation. That, and I understood the finale of Lost. That makes me know I'm a smart person.
You understood Lost?
I understood the finale of Lost first try.
Really?
Saw the finale, went, I get it. Done. I spent my next weeks explaining it to people I watched the show with me and who were like, what? No, seriously. They were all already dead. What? In the other timeline. What? Just never mind. Spoiler alert
I never
for Lost.
watched Lost, so.
I can make an extremely long story short.
All right, truncated.
Plane crashes on this island.
Correct.
Island turns out to be the weirdest thing in the fucking universe.
Yep.
They never really explain it all.
Sure.
Very thinly veiled allusions to like God and the devil and kind of stuff. Never entirely. It's the man in black and this man in white. They've never and the man in white becomes named Jacob, but then the man in black is always just the man in black and occasionally turns into a giant smoke monster. So a lot of crazy shit happens. At one point, they leave the island. Some of them, some survivors, they finally get off. There's a submarine. They get away. Realize
Of course. Everyone
realize
escapes on a submarine.
something about the island is calling them back. Something's just wrong.
Mm.
So they go back. They have to go back. So they go back.
All of them. Everyone that got off. went
Everyone
back.
that got it off has to go back, and they're back. They wind up back on the island, and more weird shit ensues. The show gets weirder and weirder. Final season, okay? Final season starts up. You see all the main characters living perfectly happy lives, but none of them are connected in the same way that they were on the show.
Mhm.
like this person all of a sudden is with this person and they weren't with that person. So it's kind of like, huh? It starts off where they're all on the plane and they're flying over the island, and right at the point where the plane crashed, it didn't.
Huh.
It kept going and it landed. And that's how you're introduced to the final season of the show, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then yeah, you see like some main characters nobody's connected how they were anymore. And all of a sudden the show cuts, and now you show you the rest of them are back on the island still. You're like, what the fuck? And that's how every episode goes. It's this dual storyline. In one storyline, they're all happy and living their lives and totally happy, comfortable and shiny, bright world. Everything's perfect. Fucking B story. Half of them are dead. They're all the rest are still on the island trying to figure out what the fuck's going on and uncover all these mysteries of the island. Turns out, in the shiny, happy world, it's the afterlife. Okay?
Okay.
Call it purgatory, call it whatever. In the show, in the shiny, happy world, you see as the characters, they don't even know who each other are. But as they meet and they kind of like touch, all of a sudden they get flooded with all these memories and they kind of realize who they were and they kind of start all meeting up.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, they finally all meet up at a church. And the last person to go who doesn't understand what's going on is the main character of the show, Matthew Fox's character, Jack. So he's sitting at the church and everybody is in and he sees everybody go in and he's just sitting there. And he's like, I don't know what to do. And he's like, well, when you're ready, you'll join us. You flip back to the main island. He's the only one left alive. Everyone else has died.
Gotcha.
He's the last person alive. So in the afterlife part, purgatory part, he's not ready to cross over to wherever there was. He hasn't died yet. And it never explains the time. Because in the reality, they all died at vastly different times. So what they're alluding to is they were all connected through some form of supernatural whatever, that they were all interconnected somehow, and they none of them were capable of passing on to whatever until they were all there. So some of them who died on the island already, some who lived out their entire life, they all waited until all 30 whatever some of them were together, and finally he dies. The main character, he finally dies. He dies getting the rest of the survivors off the island again, like everybody else. He sees like the plane take off, and so now, boom, you're at the afterlife. Everybody who made it off the island is already in there, and this is the part that's very confusing to everybody because it doesn't explain what the fuck is going on. So they, how are they just off the island but they're already dead and blah blah blah? It's like, no, you have to understand the concept that they're explaining to you without explaining to it. And that's the problem with the show. It went way too highbrow, way too high concept for network television at the time. And what was amazing was the person who was going to lead them all into the afterlife was the main character's dad. And the main character in the show, Matthew Fox's character, his name was Jack Shepard. Okay, his dad's name was Christian. They were both doctors. So the person in the church waiting to lead them all into the afterlife's name is Christian Shepard. Go figure. So once he finally goes in, everybody meets, they hug, they're all with each other now, and they all cross over into a door opens and a bright white light, and that's it. That's how the series ends.
So are these...
And everybody went, what the fuck was that?
So is the continuation of this story eventually evolve into Mass Effect?
I have no idea. But no, it was way too high concept for network TV, and people didn't get it.
Because it wasn't explained.
They didn't explain shit. And people got lost. The show kind of got lost, and the mythology got really deep. And if you weren't following along, you weren't gonna get it anymore.
Hey,
so it's like
I was
confused because I'm like, I know what's going on. Why don't the rest of you people understand what's happening? And it's one of those where it's like I'm used to watching TV shows and being able to read between the lines and understand what's supposed to be going on. I don't need it all explained to me. So I'm used to this. This is the kind of stuff I like and I watch. So I get it. I like it. 90% of people who watched it went, "What the fuck is that?" I had no idea. To the point where they still, nobody still gets it years later.
Well,
You know, Damon Lindelof and whatnot, who wrote the show, is still explaining it to people. You know, it's like they weren't all dead the entire time. You know, it's like, God damn it, guys.
your cat is snuggling up against me.
I see that. She likes you. Daisy.
Cat.
Daisy. Hi. She's looking at me going, "You're way over there and I'm way over here."
She's making funny cat noises.
It's called purring, Chris.
It sounds like she's having problems breathing. There's a rumble going on. You should take her to the vet.
No, she's good. She's happy to see you.
I think that's pneumonia.
Feline pneumonia.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's called purring.
No, that's human pneummonia. It's crossed over.
It's crossed over. My cat is going to be causing the zombie apocalypse.
Kill it now.
Don't kill my cat.
I got a sport.
Oh. Fucking A, man. Anyways, well, I'm glad my cat likes you. That's good. So I had a minor story I was going to add today. Nowhere near as enthralling as your DMV tale.
Let's see.
Time travel. Trust me, it's not.
There's no time travel involved in
No
yours?
time travel. You're old. We've established this.
That is correct.
I have made a realization that I'm getting older.
Oh, are you getting out of touch with...
No, not getting out of touch. But I was excited by purchasing something that I've never been excited before.
What did you purchase?
A cast iron skillet. I was legitimately enthralled with this and needed to own this kitchen utensil.
Important thing, don't clean it.
I know. Trust me.
You don't
I have
clean
spent
it.
a fuck ton of time reading about the care and understanding and owning. It's like having a pet.
Do me a favor. Quantify fuck ton.
Probably a good 3+ hours.
You know what?
Of internet
Wait.
reading.
No. We're going to have to remember this. Because
fuck ton.
our expert in measurements is James.
But we've never explained to him what a Merlin is.
Well, that's not too hard. That's a weight thing.
I know.
We don't need to get into that.
But a fuck ton of time,
Mm-hmm.
3 to 4 hours.
3 to 4 hours about the use and care of a cast iron skillet.
Yep. And the seasoning of such.
I have had a cast iron skillet sitting like on a shelf in my garage for at least 6 years.
You should bust that fucker out,
And-
scrub it down, and season it.
And that thing probably hasn't been used in 3 years before that. It has been aged. Not used, but aged. So, what are you doing with this cast iron skillet? What are your intentions, good sir?
Cooking.
Oh,
So far.
chefing.
Chefing, yes. So far I've been chefing. And I have chefed twice
Mm-hmm.
with this thing. And I have discovered I enjoy making steaks.
Okay.
I made steaks for dinner tonight.
Oh.
I've discovered you can make steaks in a cast iron skillet in about like 7 minutes, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's for like a 2-inch thick fucking fillet.
This is a good conductor.
Yeah. I made New York strip steaks
Mhm.
like 2 weeks ago. And that maybe like a week ago. Took 4 minutes to make a New York strip.
How big of a skillet is this?
12-inch.
All right.
12-inch cast iron skillet.
Good size.
So what you do, what I learned for this, put the oven broiler on high.
Broiler's the top part.
Yep. So take the skillet and you put it in the fucking oven,
Mhm.
and for 20 minutes, you just heat the shit out
Yeah,
of that
heat
thing.
that fucker up.
And then you take your steak, you put it in the skillet. Then you take it out, put it on. You turn the burner on high on the stove. Then set it up on top of that. It's gonna be extra hot.
Okay, so you're
You know.
now out of the oven.
Yeah, so I'm taking the skillet out of the oven, put it on the stove, burner on high, keep that fucker warm.
Mhm.
Take your steak, throw it in the pan, take your, season it, oil it,
Mhm.
however, you gotta put a little oil on it. 30 seconds on each side,
Mhm.
sear the shit, and that seals in all the fucking juice.
Mhm.
Take it, then put it right in the oven, 2 minutes on each side. Take that fucker, pull it back out, steaks are done.
Jeez.
No shit.
You have
That is how fucking restaurants cook steak. They don't grill shit. They don't do it. That is like fine dining restaurant style.
So, like when we go to what are those, cook your own steak places, and they got the big grills.
Yeah,
out
none
there.
of that shit. No,
None of
fuck
that.
that. No, this is like,
Screw that noise.
well, like our favorite restaurant to go to is Fleming's Steakhouse. It's in Brookfield. It's literally like $140 dinner for two. We go there like once a year, usually for anniversary or something like that, because it is. If you were ever to pay like $49 for a steak, that is the fucking place to go. That is the shit. And there are other steak restaurants around here that are equally as good, but we haven't been to them. So currently, that's still our go-to place. This shit fucking equal that. I also learned how to make compound butter.
Please define compound butter.
You take unsalted real butter.
Okay. In stick form.
Yeah, stick whatever form you want. You can buy like a 4-pack of sticks, but it's unsalted real butter, no spread shit, whatever. And then you make it a little soft, and you mix in. There's a lot of different recipes. I use garlic, basil, and oregano.
Okay.
You mix that shit up, and then you put it in the fridge. You fold it back up into I use parchment paper. You kind of make little tubes out of it. I make like 2 halves. You put that shit in the fridge for a couple hours to let it cool and harden and solidify and let the seasoning kind of melt into the butter. And then when you're done with your steak, you cut off a little circle of it. And you throw that fucker up on top of
I
it.
touched your cat and she showed me her teeth.
She's weird.
I was trying to pet you on your back.
That's a cat problem. She's like, I'll lay on you, but you can't touch me.
I left finger marks in her fur.
Approach her like you'd approach a stripper.
Singles in hand?
No touching.
Okay.
She can touch you wherever she wants. You can't touch her. Stripper rules apply.
With cash? What kind of cat do you have?
A promiscuous cat. She's been spayed for years, but she doesn't know that. So anyways, that's compound butter.
Okay.
And you'll find that a lot of
So in
restaurants.
other words, you put seasoning into butter.
Yeah, but it's called compound butter.
Okay.
It's a thing. And it's a lot of restaurants do that, especially the higher class ones. You get a little slab of that fucking stuff on top of your steak. That shit is money. It takes like nothing to make. I thought it was like some big fancy fucking shit. I'm like, it's a fucking couple seasonings and melted butter, and I throw it in the fridge. This shit is mint. Lisa tells everybody about it. Like, oh my god, make him cook for me. That's like, that's like the greatest thing ever. I'm like, it's butter.
Somebody did not Google compound butter.
I know how to Google. I'm a genius. So I made that again for supper tonight. Fucking outstanding, sir.
What kind of noise does it make when you drop that steak onto that?
Oh, that's a nice
skillet.
That's a nice smoky seasoning, sizzling there.
It just goes.
Yep.
I don't even know,
Yep.
but I can imagine that sound.
Yeah, it is hot. But yeah, you do that thing up 30 seconds, flip that fucker over 30 more seconds, then boop in the oven. But that's it. That's how they make your fucking steak in 5 minutes at a restaurant. The same thing. They got them all just chilling. They season them up real quick. A little bit of oil, bam, right in the pan, in the oven.
Yep, that is usually the best way. Like one of the better steaks I had, just like home cooked ones, over by my my in-laws. They were cooking up steaks, and they'll go to a butcher shop, and and buy them and all that stuff, and they're really good. But the best iteration of the steaks was my father-in-law threw them on the grill, cooked them up and stuff. Okay, we're all done. Bring them in the house and stuff, and we everyone cuts into them, and it's like, yeah, these aren't done enough, So we put them in the oven.
Yeah.
And they turned out great.
Yeah.
It's like you're like you said, you're searing the outside, but then you're using like the radiant heat instead of like the direct heat to cook the insides. And they turned out great.
When you do it in the cast iron skillet too, and you think you've had like a juicy steak, whatever, trust me, if you do it in like the skillet like this, you sear it, that it's like flash searing it,
Right.
at 30 seconds on each side. I have never made a juicier steak in my life. Your plate is a fucking pool, and it is phenomenal. And when you add the little bit of compound butter to it too, the flavor that adds to it, it's fucking awesome. I'm like, fine dining steak for me tonight, sir.
Drown it in A1?
A1 isn't even in my fucking house, man.
You have Heinz.
I have no sauces.
No. What do you do to prepare your steak? Do you marinate it?
No. I let it get to room temp.
No.
No.
Dry
No.
rub only.
No. Use a little bit of Montreal steak seasoning and olive oil.
And what is in Montreal seasoning?
Montreal. It's made of pure Canadians.
So it's pleasant.
It apologizes the entire time.
Gotcha. All right. No,
I don't know exactly what's in it, but I sometimes vary it up. But I really like Montreal steak. It's literally what it's called. It's multiple different brands sell it. It's called Montreal steak seasoning.
I'm sure I can Google it and find out.
Yeah, I could Google it now. I'm not going to, but it's a mix of different spices, whatever. But it's my favorite one. I discovered it years ago at Prime Quarter when they used to be there.
That's the place I was trying to think of.
They had garlic and salt and pepper, and then they always had Montreal steak seasoning.
Really, I
like,
don't ever remember that one.
That shit was fucking awesome. I'm like, as soon as first time I saw it at the store, I was like, oh, I can own it. It's not Prime Quarter only.
No. It's the same thing. You got super excited over some little thing, and everyone has had those reactions.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh my god, there it is! I gotta have this! I can't believe
Montreal
I found
steak.
Like, I can't think of a personal example right at the moment, but I've had those reactions.
Yeah, something so stupid and small. You're like, oh, Montreal steak seasoning. What? Everybody else around is like, what the fuck is wrong with that guy?
It was like a couple weeks ago at work. I was dealing with an outside company, and something and the project went right. And they gave to me at the end exactly what I had asked for. And I was so happy because we'd run into some problems earlier on.
Yeah.
I was so happy. I bounced up and down in my chair, giggled and clapped because I was so happy. It was like I literally went
Exactly.
So my coworkers could hear me. I wasn't quiet about it.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly right.
It was better than the other day when I was yelling and swearing and just commenting on how stupid people were. Again, not quietly.
I do that all the time at my desk, and I hear everybody around me start laughing. I love it when I do something like that, and I'm like, stupid motherfucker. And I just hear laughter coming from it. It's like people that used to me saying that stuff.
It was again like a week or two ago. Something was going wrong. I couldn't get a program to do what I needed it to do.
Yeah.
So I was working on it for like half an hour, and I'm sitting there like. And after like the sixth failed attempt, I just start pounding on my desk. Why won't this work? And it was quickly followed by laughter from all around me.
What would the days at work be without us? Swearing and yelling and gleefully dancing.
I
haven't thrown anything yet.
I have literally bruised my forehead from slamming my head into my desk.
I haven't thrown anything yet. I've gotten close, but I haven't thrown anything yet.
I'm letting you use me as a pillow, kitty cat. Be nice to me.
She doesn't. She's not nice to anyone. What the fuck? What the fuck do you think you're gonna get
I'm bigger than
special
you.
treatment for?
I got a spork. So, a great birthday present I had yesterday.
Yeah.
Daredevil.
Yes.
Premieres on Netflix.
Yes, it did. And I watched the first 2 episodes of it.
I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, it's because you're a dick.
I binged all 13 episodes.
I was at work.
It took me 20 hours to watch 13 episodes.
You clearly paused. That's right, you went to the DMV.
I went to the DMV.
I'm trying to figure out, like, why does that math not work? And I haven't had vodka in a while. I was just dizzy reaching for my phone.
Fuzzy head. It's that great sensation where you turn your head, but it feels like the spring that your head is on is suddenly very loose.
I moved really fast to get it, and I went,
whoa. It's such a unique sensation.
Yeah, I know.
It's like getting a concussion.
I don't know. I haven't had one of those.
You've never had a concussion?
Not that I can.
I can
recall.
I can only assume I have from the certain feelings.
Yeah.
Where it's just you slam your head really hard and it's this like explosion of fuzziness in your head.
I've-
I've never had a diagnosed concussion,
Yeah.
but I'm guessing that's what it is.
I'm concerned about standing up anytime soon, so I'm just gonna keep. I thought about refilling my cup. I'm now second guessing that decision until I go upstairs. So yeah. Anyways, Daredevil.
It was good.
Yes, it was very good. Watched the first 2 episodes. My
So-
wife
so-
actually
so-
watched it too.
Since you've seen only the first 2 episodes,
Yep.
and I've seen the whole thing,
Yep.
you lead with what you've seen, and I'll comment on it,
Okay.
so that I don't, let you know who does and doesn't die.
Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't watched Daredevil yet. We're about to discuss the first 2 episodes of Daredevil on our podcast. Now, I've paused enough.
Before we get into the story proper,
Matt Murdock's blind.
no, the guy who plays Foggy,
Yeah.
he played Fuller on the Mighty Ducks.
Really?
The goon, like
Oh,
the big goon.
yeah, I know who Fuller was. Wow. All right, cool.
yeah, I had to throw that one out. I saw that earlier.
My brain's drowning in vodka right now. The secretary,
Karen Page.
Karen Page. There you go. The name came to me.
She's
as
from
fast.
True Blood.
Yep, True Blood. So, played the vampire on that one. Now she's on here. I watched the first one. The first episode. It was good. Both of them were really good. I was impressed. His the fighting style.
The
The
fights,
fights are amazing.
all the action and the fights are fantastic.
Yeah,
They are brutal.
brutal and very realistic.
Yes.
Yeah, he gets the shit kicked out of him too. He can, like they explain and they do a lot of work to explain that his dad was like that, but he can take a beating. And,
Physiologically, he can take a punch.
and this is why he's good at it, because he can get the shit kicked out of him. He can just take it longer than the other guy can.
A little bit, yes.
Basically, he's a badass through and through.
Right.
But he can get beat up, and he can outlast the other guy.
Because a lot of superheroes have some like mantras that they follow. Like one of the most famous one is Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
One of the ones that Matt Murdock had instilled by his father is it's not about getting knocked down, it's how fast you get up again.
Yep.
And that mentality and that psychology allows him to kind of keep getting up when most other people would stay down.
Yeah, that's very similar to Bruce Wayne. Yeah.
Very-
Why do we
very
fall
much.
down so we can learn how to pick ourselves back up?
Correct. I mean,
yeah.
very much is Matt Murdock is very much like Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Well, and it reminds me of
Except for the money.
except for the money. Well, even fucking the quote from Rocky Balboa when he's talking to his kid. It's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep coming back.
Right. Yeah. But I mean,
It's the same thing.
Very much again, just kind of referencing Batman. I mean, this entire first season is essentially Daredevil Begins,
Yep.
and there's nothing wrong with that because you know what? There's a fantastic formula.
Yeah, well, it works.
And the whole thing works.
And nobody knows who the fuck Daredevil is.
No.
There was one movie 12 years ago.
Well, you know what?
Nobody remembers.
And
the only thing people remember about it, they didn't like it.
People shit on the Ben Affleck.
It's
Daredevil
not that bad.
movie. I liked that movie.
Yeah.
That one for over a decade now has been my litmus test for superhero movies.
I clearly haven't watched it.
That is my middle of the road movie. It's either better or worse than Daredevil. Daredevil's middle of the road.
Yeah, Daredevil for me was the problem I had. It was forgettable. That's where I rate Green Lantern in the same category
See,
as Daredevil.
I guess I liked it better than that.
I mean, I wasn't enthralled with it. I mean, it was all right. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. It was just kind of there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I feel about Green Lantern.
Yeah, well,
It's just, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. It was just there.
I would rank it below Daredevil.
Yeah, I have no preconceived notions of Green Lantern though. I don't.
No.
So, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, just based on the problem most people have with Green Lantern is they're basing what the movie is off of everything else that Green Lantern is and was and should be. By itself, Green Lantern is not terrible as a movie. It's not. It's not terrible. It's okay. It is just okay. It is not. It is firmly average.
It definitely fails in certain places.
Sure.
Yeah.
But if you're not comparing it against the comics and the story and the world and everything like, you're just looking at Green Lantern as a movie.
Mm.
It is just there.
Yeah.
It's average, and that's where I place Daredevil. It's just
The
there.
movie.
The movie.
Back to the TV
Back
series.
to the TV series. The TV series has
is-
been amazing.
Yes,
The
it is
first
fantastic.
2 episodes, it would just, yeah. Like, I don't know dick about the rest of the characters in Daredevil outside of Daredevil, Kingpin, and then based on the movie that I saw,
Yeah.
Bullseye.
Yeah.
But
I mean, and kind of following what
and
Marvel,
of course Elektra.
and
But,
following what Marvel's been doing with their movies. This is a crime drama.
yeah,
It is a crime. It is a crime drama.
it's a procedural that happens to have a superhero.
It is. I mean, it is essentially Law and Order,
Yeah, starring a superhero.
but with superheroes.
Mm-hmm. You know, and right off the bat, in episode, was it the first one, referring to the Battle of New York and the
Yes,
incident.
that
and,
was-
and it's the realities of the story of the show. The crooked development firm
Mhm.
is completely taking advantage of all the destruction that happened to New York City, which is still being repaired
From
Five-
the Avengers.
5 years later or
Yeah.
whatever. You know.
You know, and they showed it in one of the trailers. You know, one of the guys makes a quip about, you know, it's not a man in an iron suit or has a magic hammer.
Yeah, it's not.
I read an article that didn't like that line.
Really?
Thought it was forced and it was it was fan service.
Well, it's
No,
because that's well. It seems like that because that's how it was edited and cut in that stupid trailer, and it was put in that
but
trailer.
he
for
referenced it from
Yeah.
now the show.
Oh, from the show.
From
No,
the show. But
nah.
no, that's because in the world of Daredevil, Iron Man and
Is a-
Thor exist.
Yeah, well, they referenced it in this one. It's that they have heroes coming out of the woodwork and
Yeah.
blah blah blah. And this is a real world.
Mhm.
You're seeing the real world take, more dark and gritty
Mm-hmm.
version of the real world than what you see in like Agents of Shield, but it's still a real world where these real heroes exist.
Yeah.
And this is from one very narrow perspective.
Right. It's
of
a
Hell's Kitchen in New York.
yeah, in a small little
One
section
guy,
of New York.
this guy, just him, he's not connected to anything
Mm-hmm.
else. He would have no reason to. There's no reason to mention any other than just goofy passing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not like you got a magic hammer. That's because everybody in the world knows who Thor is now.
Mhm.
Thor is not a myth.
Yep.
Thor is a real thing. He's been on the news.
Yep.
He's
probably been interviewed.
Everybody knows who Thor is, and Iron Man is the most public face, and so is Captain America.
Mhm.
Yeah, but Black Widow was on fucking C-SPAN. You
Yeah.
know, it's nobody. None of these people are a mystery anymore, and they're
Mhm.
just regular, commonplace things.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, when you have random quips about stuff like that, you have to take it in context of that's the world they
Well-
live in.
well-
So it's not a joke or a fan service or forced. It's just it's reality because I'm trying to think of a real world, equivalent that we would have. But
Well, here it's in a future episode. I'm not going to give any spoilers or context, but they show the front of a newspaper
Mm.
talking about the New York incident,
yeah,
and they have another one that talks about Harlem getting destroyed.
hmm
Well, that was the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
You know, they've
Yep.
got little things that reference previous events
yeah,
because Harlem getting destroyed, it's going to be in the newspapers.
yeah. Oh yeah,
You know, it
especially
was a front page headline. So they had little things that showed up like in the background calling those out, and if you recognized them, you knew what it meant.
Yeah, exactly. But Marvel's been doing that for years.
Yeah.
That's not fan. It is and it isn't fan service.
Mhm.
Yes, it is fan service, but it's not forced. It's not fake, and it's not there for the sake of being there.
It's there to move the universe
It
forward.
moves the universe forward, and it is a nod and a wink.
Mhm.
But that's all it needs to be.
Mhm.
So if you're bitching about it,
You
then
don't understand.
You don't understand, and you don't get it.
Yep.
You know, you don't get why it's cool to see that.
Yeah.
You don't get why in Iron Man 2 they were in like a bar, and on the bar on the TV you saw news coverage of the Incredible Hulk destroying the fucking college in Harlem.
Yeah.
And that was the first real glimpse of holy shit, these movies are really connected, and holy shit, they're happening at the
They're
exact
happening
same
at the
time.
same time, yeah.
You know. So Daredevil doing stuff like that is expected.
Yeah.
It would be weird if it didn't.
Yeah.
You know.
It's not just because this is a show on Netflix, it's not insulated. It's
No.
still connected to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's connected to Avengers and
Yeah.
Iron Man.
It's slightly
Winter
further
Soldiers.
away,
Yeah.
but it's no further away than Guardians of the Galaxy
Yeah.
is. They couldn't possibly be further apart.
Guardians of the Galaxy
and Daredevil couldn't be further apart,
Yep.
but they're equidistant from the Avengers.
Correct.
You know, the Avengers is square in the middle of both of those. And at some point, they're going to get a little closer one way or the other.
Well, I mean, there.
You know.
It would not surprise me if coming up on like an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they make a reference to Hell's Kitchen, New York.
Yeah. You know, this vigilante, when they're referring to him as a vigilante
Yeah.
in New York, is going to catch S.H.I.E.L.D.'s attention.
Yeah. And you know what? All they have to do is make a little reference.
Yeah. Someone is gonna catch somebody's attention, and
Yeah. All it needs to be is a couple little throwaway lines from Coulson. It's like I'm hearing some stuff out of Hell's Kitchen. Let's keep an eye on it.
yeah, and everyone will wet themselves
Yeah.
with excitement, and it will be amazing.
Yeah. Well,
And if you're reading it and you're reviewing it and you don't understand it, you shouldn't be reviewing it.
Yep.
This is not the kind of stuff that can just be, you know, reviewed cold.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to have that, and it's not at the same time.
Yep.
Because it's good to have that because then it reviews it on its own merits, and it's not being reviewed by a fanboy. But at the same time, you need those kind of people to review it too and comment on it, because there's an extra level of stuff to the shows that will be noticed by them that won't be noticed by somebody who doesn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, through the first 2 episodes, I mean, it was good. It was everything the origin story should have been. You know, him as a kid losing his sight.
Well, and I like that. It starts with him and his best friend Foggy start their own little law practice together.
Yep.
You know, Matt Murdock and Foggy, and that's where the show starts. But through flashbacks, we find out about Matt's past, and you know,
Well, the very first scene in the show is him losing his sight. That's the very first scene.
Is it?
Yeah, that's where it kicks off. It's him laying on the ground, the accident, and then it kicks to him waking up in bed, and Foggy's calling him. That's the very first scene. You forgot already.
I forgot. I really did.
And that's the problem with binge watching a show in a day.
Yes.
You forget little stuff like that. But no, that's the very first scene in the show. Is traffic's all backed up. A guy's running through traffic. It's his dad.
Right.
I don't know that.
Oh yeah.
He comes up on Matt laying in the street. He can still see, but sees all the whatever toxic shit spilling out and burns his eyes, and you see his vision go away, and then it boom flashes to him waking up in bed.
Day.
You know. But yeah, it's cool. I like that they kind of jump into. He's just starting the law firm, but he's clearly already been doing this Daredevil thing for a little bit, because he's already got the costume. He's already kicking the shit out of people, and no one knows.
Right.
Nobody knows. He doesn't have anyone that knows.
And really, even at that time, there have been a couple stories, but like even the bad guys don't know. You know, he all of a sudden he shows up, and then it's like a what? A guy in a mask?
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? So he hasn't even made waves.
Yeah, he's just starting out in both, but he's already been doing the Daredevil thing, the vigilante thing for a little bit. He's all in black still, but yeah, I think it's kind of nice that it's a little different to where no one knows what's going on. He doesn't have anyone in on it, which is impressive until episode 2. Right. When he gets found in a dumpster.
Yeah, when he gets the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, and he wakes up and with Rosario Dawson's character Claire, and he's like, I can smell the guy, 2 floors down.
Yeah.
She's like, how can you? Yeah.
Well, it's. I thought they've done a really good job of utilizing his powers.
Yeah.
You know, they don't show it kind of like they did in
the movie with
because
Daredevil, when Ben Affleck can see Elektra in the
there's
rain.
one scene of that.
Well,
where
in episodes 1 and 2, there's not.
Yeah, in the future, there's one scene that just kind of shows what he sees.
Yeah.
And it's very different.
Yeah.
But they do a lot of like slowing down time.
They do a lot of alluding to it.
Right.
Where,
They'll slow down time,
Yeah.
or they'll do kind of like selective focus.
Yeah. I like the selective focus that when he's listening.
Yes.
And he can hear like Karen's heartbeat when she's lying about not having the file
Right.
on
They'll
the USB
play
drive.
with sounds and stuff
Yeah,
like
and
that.
when he's outside fighting the guy, he can
Mhm.
hear like the chain clinking behind him, so
Right.
he knows how to grab it.
So
and
they'll
then tie the guy
all
up
of a
with
sudden they'll cut and focus on a thing or
Yeah.
something. So it's a lot of camera work and editing
it. Yeah,
to
but it works.
It does. It does a very good job.
And at the same time it lets you know that he's really good at this stuff,
Hmm.
but it doesn't fully explain that he's really good at that. It's like a superpower good at it.
Right.
And they start getting that in the episode 2, where he can smell the guy from 2 floors
Right.
down.
He starts to talk about.
He starts to talk about it. He can hear somebody's in the building, 5 minutes away.
Mhm.
And then he could smell them too. And how could you possibly smell and hear
Yeah.
them? And then when he gets away, he's like, "No, there's somebody else. They're scared. I can hear them." It's the kid that lives upstairs.
Right.
Or the awesome dropping the fire extinguisher on the guy from like 5 floors up. That was great. I knew exactly what he was gonna do as soon as he grabbed it, but I'm like, this is gonna be awesome. And he's like, just wait. He's like,
wait.
And he's holding it. Boom.
Bang.
Bang. Right on
That
his head.
was.
Oh yeah. Oh, it fucking killed the guy.
No, it
not
didn't kill him, but
yeah, knocked him out, and he dragged. He's like, He's like, get the kid from upstairs. I'm gonna need help dragging this guy up to the roof.
Well, but
that what I thought was great. Not to cut you off, but what I thought was great, where they take the extra step in this show versus other Marvel stuff, is when he says why. When she asks why up to the roof, because nobody will hear us screaming when we're up there.
yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yeah, well, this is, the phrase dark and gritty or grim and gritty is thrown around a lot, but this show very much follows into that. And Matt Murdock is very much, he has no problem.
No, he has no problem beating guys.
He has no problem. Well, not to death.
Not to death, but if it comes to it, but I mean beating the living shit out of guys.
Oh yeah, he has no problem, breaking bones and just destroying people.
Well, it almost looks like he kills the guy, possibly like on episode 1, I think, where he rescues the girls from the cargo container, and you could see they allude to the spot where he lets the devil out, and he just goes nuts on the one guy, and just pummels his fucking skull in.
Well, it's
probably kills that.
Well,
guy.
it's like the guy in the second episode that he takes up to the roof.
Yeah.
He hangs him over the edge of the roof to get the information he wants.
Yeah.
And then he throws him off the roof.
Yeah.
And the guy lands in the same dumpster
Yeah.
that Matt Murdock was found in, and Claire, the Rosario Dawson's character, she goes, "What are you doing? You just threw him off the roof. You killed him." And you can see him. He cocks his head. You can hear him that he's listening. He goes like, "He's still alive. He'll live." He's in a coma.
Yeah.
He's all fucked up. But he's still alive.
Yeah.
You
exactly.
know. So he has no compunction about just using the same methods that the bad guys use, just short of killing people.
Yeah.
But he will fuck you up.
No shit. Yeah.
In some of the most impressive ways possible. And just watching him go through like a dozen guys through the hallway fight scene, which I'm sure there's already GIFs and videos of that scene all over the internet, but that is impressive. And throughout watching the whole season, and I haven't watched or seen too much interviews with Charlie Cox, who plays Matt Murdock, who does a great job.
Oh yeah, he's great.
He's really good as both Matt Murdock and Daredevil. But it certainly looks like he's doing a bunch of that himself.
Yeah.
Even some of the kind of flippy parkour stuff, it looks like some of that stuff he's doing.
Yeah, especially that one because that hallway scene because it's like one take.
Yeah.
It's like it's one continuous shot, and it was just fucking.
Well, but I
brutal.
mean, he is, that mask covers up most of his face. It's easy to throw in, a stunt guy,
True. Yeah.
but there are other points in the series where he's not wearing the mask,
Yep.
and he does some cool like flippy shit thing. Well, that kind of looks like him. That's pretty good.
There's either spectacular editing and it's
and a dead ringer stuntman.
yeah, or it's probably it's probably somewhere between. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got some legit. I mean, he's trained hard for that. Because the only scene I kind of saw was it was towards the end of the first. That's maybe the second episode. I don't know. Maybe it was the first one where he goes to the gym and he's just training and he's hitting on the
He's
on the bag
Yeah.
and they're showing all the other criminal people and doing their whatever shit they're into. The Chinese lady who's got all the blind
hmm
fucking cocaine people,
heroin.
or whatever. It was white.
Mhm.
Heroin manufacturers,
Mhm.
and then the older white guy who was the warden in the Shawshank Redemption.
Is
by
that
the
where
way.
I
Yeah.
couldn't place where I saw
Yeah,
him?
he was the warden in Shawshank Redemption, and then the Japanese dude was like some sort of architect.
Nobu.
Yeah. So yeah, they're all different. All the different shit that they're into, and they kept flashing back and forth while he's fighting on that bag, and yeah, he looked to be in good shape.
Yeah. Well,
So
but you haven't seen it yet. But was it Vincent D'Onofrio
yeah, I played Kingpin.
who plays Wilson Fisk?
Yeah.
He does a really good job, which should be no surprise.
Well, it's Vincent D'Onofrio was really good.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if he put on weight or what, or it's just the way they dressed him, but he's got extra size and bulk to him because, I mean, in the comic books, Kingpin's a huge dude.
Yeah, he's a huge
Now,
guy.
D'Onofrio is already a big guy,
Yeah,
but there's a little extra bulk
yeah.
on him. But
I'm sure it's a little combination
he's
of
a
both.
fascinating character, too, and they do a lot of flashbacks and explaining
Really?
his motivation and everything, and it's it's all very parallel to Matt Murdock, but he is definitely a fascinating character.
As soon as we're done with recording this, I'm gonna hop back into watching episode 3 at least, and hopefully episode 4, and
Mm-hmm.
hope to get through it. Half of the season by the end of tomorrow. I'm stuck having to wait for my wife to watch it with me, so I can't just blow through it without her because she's watching it too. But it's fine. I like when she likes to watch the show too, so gives me somebody to talk to about it when I'm at home.
It's like
yeah,
I've gotten my wife to watch The Flash,
yeah.
but no interest really in the Arrow.
No. Well, Arrow's one that I have told you I have a hard time getting into. I just something about Arrow just doesn't do it for me, and I can't figure out what it is. I don't know if it's not the show. Well, it's a little bit the show. It's a WB show. That first or CW show, whatever, which makes it a WB show, which everybody in the show is just too damn pretty. That's one thing that kills me. Okay? And that there's a certain aesthetic, artistic feel and style and look to shows on the CW that they all share.
Yeah.
Every network has that.
Yeah.
And if you were to give me a list of shows that I'd never seen before and ask me to pick what network they were on, I bet you I could pick what
You
was
could
on
probably
NBC,
figure it out.
CBS, Fox, ABC, CW.
All that stuff.
Oh, I guarantee it, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So that's one part that bugs me. I got through it back when the only CW WB show I ever watched was Smallville, and it was the only superhero thing going at the time, really. So that's why I went through it, because that show began and ended pretty much before this whole Marvel thing really took off. And DC was the only thing happening. You had Smallville, and you had Superman Returns, and you had the Dark Knight movies, and there was no really good Marvel stuff happening. So, but Arrow, yeah, I don't know what it is. It's what it is. I can tell you, it's lines like this, and this is early on in the show, maybe 5th or 6th episode, so you're not gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about. But, what the fuck's the main character's name?
Oliver Queen.
Oliver Queen. There you go. See that vodka has afflicted me, and my brain is just mush now.
You are afflicted.
Afflicted. Oliver Queen's his buddy, whatever the fuck his buddy's name is, the white dude, first season.
Merlin.
Sure, whatever.
What's
his name is an object of weight, a measurement of weight.
Oh, his last name is Merlin.
Okay, well, whatever.
I forget the friend's first name.
Whatever. Okay, the one who's into Laurel or Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Laurel and
Hardy.
Yeah, yes, Laurel and Hardy. Yes. So he comes over, and Ollie's like, he's got to head out for something, and he comes over and goes, "Hey, I've got this cool new sports car, man. I think we should. Well, you want to go take a ride?" And Oliver's like, "No, I have to go do something. Maybe next time." And then he just leaves. And then Oliver's sister's there. He's like, "You want to go for a ride in my new sports car?" Like,
the most.
Could you say any
dialogue.
Could you have any worse dialogue, or could you use any more generic of term? "Hello, I have acquired a new vehicle. Would you care to go motoring?" What the fuck, guys? But then when he's as Arrow and he's beating the shit out of bad guys, it's cool. So I'm like, God, just fucking get closer in the middle on both of them, and I would love you so much more. But it's just so awkward. The dialogue is so forced on this show, and I've told you before, Stephen Amell, when he's as Arrow and he's even as Oliver Queen in Arrow mode, he's fine.
Yeah.
When he's attempting to be Oliver Queen, he's so awkward.
Well, but that's...
And I know it's part of what he's supposed to be trying to do, but it's kind of like Stewie on Family Guy, who talks. Nobody can understand Stewie, and it's just a thing. Does nobody get that he looks retarded? No. Like, he used to be this party animal, fun-loving, carefree, like, current Chris version of Oliver, where no troubles in the world, everything was future Ollie's problem, and you blamed past Ollie for whatever happened. And it was fine, and he was a party guy. But now he comes back, and when he's pretending to be like that, it's so clearly not the same, but nobody gets it. Like, everybody just looks past it, because he has PTSD maybe or something.
Yeah.
But it's so shitty. Why, yes, I would love to have an alcoholic beverage with you, ma'am. Yeah, it's like... It's like, that's what he seems like. Like, come on!
I guess I was able to, much like you were able to do a Smallville.
Yes.
You got through the first,
4 years.
Yeah.
Once Clark got out of high school, that show got so much better. And I'm attempting to do the same with Arrow.
I couldn't get past, like, the first 4 episodes of Smallville. I got sick of the fucking, like,
Freak of the week. If they called it the Freak of the Week shit. Yeah, it was awful.
It's like, fuck,
But
this.
But at that point, Smallville, which ran for 10 years, was already in, like, season 7.
Mm-hmm.
And Sable had kept telling me about it because he was huge into Smallville. He's like, just get through the first 4. I'm like, for you, fine.
Maybe.
I believe you. You're telling me it's cool. And it really was. Once Clark Kent got the fuck out of high school, it got really good. And I keep hearing this about Arrow, and I'm having to do the same thing. I'm having to go through this. And it was a struggle. Mm-hmm. Trust me, I did not enjoy the first 4 seasons of Smallville. That was painful. Mm-hmm. And it was a chore. It was work. I'm like, just another episode. I have to get through another. How many
into Arrow are you?
6.
Okay, because like even like it's like even like the second half is a lot better.
I'm like 6 episodes into season 1.
Yeah,
and it's just, like I said, yeah, it's a struggle. I just don't care.
It's like one of those things that you, again, to kind of get through it and kind of get into it, but it's like you got to put it on and maybe do something else so you can kind of pay attention, kind of not.
Yeah, to get through it.
That way, if it's like, oh, here's gonna be a scene of just really cheesy dialogue. I'm
Yeah.
gonna see what my Twitter is saying.
Yeah,
you know?
it's gonna have to be. Like lately, I've been watching them in bed. Like I'll put an episode on, and as soon as it's over, I probably pass out before it's done. But yeah, I don't know. There's certain shows, like I know, like watching a TV show, if I'm gonna really like it or not. And some shows, it's not it. I don't know if it's just it's. I guarantee we had this talk. We are not unique. I am not special. I am not the
Despite
only
what
person.
your mother tells you.
My mother doesn't tell me any of that. She's legit. But
She keeps it real.
yeah, keep it 100. You know, I don't really dislike much. I hate very few TV shows and movies. I hate very few things like that in entertainment. I either like it, I really love it, I like it, which is pretty much anything, or I just don't care. I'm ambivalent to it.
Yeah.
I have very little hatred for stuff. Like, Dude, Where's My Car? That's in my extremely small hate factor. I fucking loathe that film.
That movie, after that movie came out, it was probably years and years until I saw it. And I must have just like caught it on like HBO or something. You know, it was like 10 o'clock at night, nothing else is on. Oh, here's Dude, Where's My Car? Maybe I'll watch this for a little bit. I liked it a lot better than I thought I would.
When that movie came out on DVD, Lisa was in college and I was up visiting her for like a weekend or something, and we rented it, and she didn't want to watch it. So I think she had schoolwork or something to do. So she was in her bedroom working on her laptop, and I was sitting in the living room and I watched it. We rented it and I watched it. I was angry when it was over. That never happens. I have watched so many shitty movies and I went, like that's why I don't hate Green Lantern. It's not terrible.
I'm just disappointed.
I know, but you have a preconceived notion because you are a fan of Green Lantern. Much more than I am.
I mean, I know more about Green Lantern.
You know a lot more about Green Lantern.
I was just, I was disappointed that this was the approach that they took.
And for me, having baseline zero, it was fine. I didn't love it. I was ambivalent to it. Whatever. Okay, fine. It's over. Dude, Where's My Car? Made me fucking angry. When we got to the end of that fucking movie, and it was all about the fucking aliens and the goddamn continuum transfunctioner, I wanted to fucking punch something.
You don't even know what that
Yeah,
is.
I'm so mad it made me. I know what the fuck. It's mystery and its power is only fucking greener than its mystery. I'm so mad my Tribble is pissed.
Calm down, sir.
I've set off the Tribble. The goddamn continuum transfunctioner.
Oh, man. I don't even know what that thing is. You probably know more about that movie than I do, just through hate.
I will give it one thing. One thing only. The only enjoyable aspect, and this one aspect of the movie didn't even bring it back to zero for me. It's still so far in the negative. The tattoo scene.
That's what I was thinking.
when he's like, you got a tattoo, dude. What's it say? Dude!
What's mine say?
Dude, you got a tattoo, dude. Sweet. What's it say? Sweet. No. What's yours say? Dude. What's mine say? Sweet. No. What does your tattoo say? Dude. What does mine say? Sweet.
They get so mad at each other.
And then they get the fucking custom-made Adidas suits with matching hat and jacket and pants and shoes, and then it would complete shit again. But the tattoo scene was fucking mint. That was gold. That scene with the two of them was gold. The rest of that movie can shove it itself up its own ass. That is how I feel about that film.
All right, we do not have to revisit this.
No, we are never revisiting it. No, I don't fucking own it.
I did.
I rented it once. That was 2 hours of my life and like $3 I'm never getting back. It pissed me off. On my deathbed, I will wish for 2 more hours of life, and I will curse that film and curse Ashton Kutcher for making me suffer through that 2 hours of bullshit.
I know what you're getting for your birthday.
I almost... I was going to buy you Blue Thunder, but I couldn't get it. I refused to pay $7 in shipping to get it here today.
Blue Thunder's a great movie.
Fuck. Yeah, fuck. Dude, where's my car? Now I'm pissed off.
All right, let's get to a different topic. What
Ah.
else you got?
It's time for our Kickstarter of the week.
We're just starting now. This is going to be a super long episode. I looked at the clock. I'm like, we couldn't have been talking about this for an hour or for a half an hour. It says 31 minutes. Oh, that's an hour and 31 minutes.
Well, holy shit.
What?
I've discovered what this week's Kickstarter is going to be. But first off, we need to pay tribute to last week's Kickstarter
Oh,
of the
yes,
week.
we need to revisit.
Dragnet of Spies.
Yes, right.
God-awful student film that we suffered through last week.
You know
By
what?
young Bradley Egrid.
You know what? Yes, did we make a lot of jokes at their expense and make fun of them? But I will still give them credit for doing it.
Oh, hell yes.
They did it.
Yeah.
They made their film, and they're looking to do more because everybody has to start at some point.
Yeah, we started 14 weeks ago with this awful podcast.
So yes, a
at
lot
some
of
point we're gonna make a movie and it's gonna suck.
absolutely. So I mean, we said a lot of things, but I'll still give them all the credit in the world for doing it.
I hope to God they make millions.
Yes,
And-
I hope
and-
nothing but the
And
best.
then I will point back to our 13th week episode of this podcast and say the reason you're famous is us.
We gave you motivation.
So,
It is now a week later.
a week later, Dragnet of Spies,
Mhm.
checking in. And I have some bad news to report.
Uh-oh.
There are still 21 days to go on their Kickstarter. They have received no money.
No money.
Not a single backer. No one has pledged a dime. Now, young Bradley here clearly must be upset. But I can't help him because I'm not donating any money to that awful abomination of a short film that he showed us.
How can you tell that he's upset?
Yeah, he looks sad in the picture.
Oh,
I mean, he's not happy.
well, that was the same picture.
I know, but so he's clearly upset.
It's not like he edited it and
I
goes,
know.
why?
Well, I'd be upset if after 9 days my Kickstarter received no money.
Well, that's what I'm expecting ours to do.
No, I'm expecting to make hundreds. Hundreds and hundreds of fractions of a cent.
I'm expecting to make hundreds of pennies.
Hundreds of pennies. Like 500 pennies.
Tuppence a bag.
Dozens.
That is a Mary Poppins reference.
God. So, I did do a little research into Mr. Egrin, though, after last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And by little research, I clicked on his bio page right now.
Oh,
Technically, I wasn't lying, though. I've done research after last week.
okay.
So, just giving you a little inside information as to what I'm making seem more out of what it is. He is a comedy filmmaker director. So, is that supposed to be a comedy? Because it seemed very serious.
I think it was more comedy than serious.
It seemed very serious, though.
Well, we
Now
didn't
didn't
have the dialogue play.
This next line should both hearten and sadden you, if you understand. It has done both to me, because we saw the Motion Picture Institute of Michigan
Correct.
at the beginning, so we thought clearly this is a student film, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next sentence. I graduated from the Motion Picture Institute in Troy, Michigan in 2013. So, you've graduated college, and this is what you've produced? Now,
Is it-
perhaps this is something you produced in school.
Which
You've
is-
done nothing better? That this is your best work? One would think you'd put your best work on your Kickstarter if you want to get money.
Wait, what was this? This was the
Motion Picture Institute of Michigan. The reason he wants to become a film director is because his family watched a lot of historical comedy films as he grew up. Excuse me.
Jeez. Sneak up on you?
Actually, yeah, I did not expect that. His directing style is influenced by the television shows Dragnet, Barney Miller, and The Three Stooges. So
I know of Barney Miller, but
I got nothing. I know of Barney Fife. I don't know shit about Barney Miller. But I go to his Facebook page, and his favorite movies are the SpongeBob movie, You Don't Mess with the Zohan, Grown Ups 2. Come on, man. You want to be a director?
you want
And you've been influenced by Dragnet and whatever the fuck else you were bullshitting on me, and the Three Stooges, and one of your favorite movies is Grown Ups 2, and Don't Mess with the Zohan?
if you
Really? No one's favorite movie should be Grown Ups 2 and Don't Mess with the Zohan. No one likes those movies. Not even Adam Sandler likes those movies. He was just paid to make those movies. God! Oh! You want to be a director, and you're talking about film, and you went to the Motion Picture Institute of Michigan.
all right, here you,
And that's your shit? That's like... Oh...
all right, here we go. I've gone to the Motion Picture Institute of Michigan website,
Okay.
and I have clicked on About Our Program for Film. All right,
Okay.
the Motion Picture Production Program.
Okay.
Okay, over the course of 1 year, students take a series of 15 core filmmaking classes.
This is a 1-year school?
Correct. These classes include screenwriting, film directing, cinematography, lighting, audio recording, script supervision, production management, film editing, post-audio recording, finance, and marketing. At the midway point of the school year, students choose from 4 film concentrations: film directing, screenwriting, film production, and film editing. These additional classes challenge student creativity as they are steered through either writing a marketable feature-length script, working as a film technician on a set, editing projects, or directing a master thesis film that is shot on either 16mm, 35mm, or high-resolution digital format. Our hands-on approach has students producing numerous individual and group projects each semester. These experiences allow students to make an informative decision on where to further develop their film education and the direction of their careers. The pinnacle of the program takes place at our Graduation Film Festival, where student film projects are screened for a live audience on the big screen at a local movie theater.
So,
There's more.
do they
but we
do they
don't
do
need
they
to-
do they offer online classes?
I don't know.
Can we enroll?
There's got to be more to this because all of a sudden they're talking about 3rd semester core classes, 5th semester
You
courses.
said it's a 1 year.
I don't know. Semester 2. I don't know.
Are their semesters 3 weeks long?
I don't know.
I have no faith.
You know-
The Motion Picture Institute of Michigan sounds like bullshit to me.
You know, there.
Are they an accredited institution?
I-
Are they better than Harvard Law?
No.
They have success stories on their website.
Well, they do.
Class of 2002. The on-set education from the show Ghost Adventures on Travel Channel.
Correct. I'm aware of it.
This guy, Zach Baggins, went to MPI.
Okay.
Class of 2009, Tony Foster is a music video director for such artists as Danny Brown, Dopehead, and Zaloopers.
Okay.
Class of 2012, Matthew Tuppen is a director of Bob the Accessory and gaffer on The Dark Below, who's also a grip and electric on a handful of other things I've never heard of. Class of 2002, Chris Kazzer, who is a writer, director, and documentarian did the film Divide in Concord, was a official selection of the Traverse City Film Festival 2014, class of 2003. The class of 1999 provided us with Rola Neshef. She was director of a film called Detroit Unleaded that won world premiere winner at the Toronto International Film Festival in 2012.
Oh.
Well, there you go. David Rumble, class of 2001. He is a location manager for such known things as Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, Transformers Age of Extinction, Low Winter Sun, The Avengers, Transformers Dark of the Moon, Detroit 187, You Don't Know Jack, and Dreamgirls. He's a location manager. Amber Fritz, class of 2008, script supervisor, worked on a lot of those same Batman vs. Superman, Transformers, Revolution, Low Winter Sun, Piranha 3DD, and a ton of other stuff. Andre Ray, director, won Best Director, Uptown Film Festival 2013 for something called Foggy Relations, class of 2012. Another guy who's a camera assistant on a bunch of stuff that I've never heard of. This lady has not done anything other than get a job at Sony Pictures, but she was class of 2009. Jessica Heemskirk.
Which, that's not bad.
No, not at all. Just think it's funny because everybody else has stuff and employed at Sony Pictures. That's her credit. So they got a bunch of these things on here. There's a bunch more, and a bunch of production assistants. And so they have produced people. They have produced graduates. Some of them appear to have enough talent to acquire jobs and work in the industry. There's a lot of other random stuff on here. Most of the stuff never heard of, but most of the stuff in the world you never heard of. It's all junk. A lot of production assistants. Here's a guy whose name is outstanding. His name is Dewan Rippey. But he's a production assistant on Winter Soldier and Transformers 4 and American Idol and SpongeBob SquarePants. So, yeah. They have produced, there's a big list of stuff. Graduates from the Motion Picture Institute have worked on or are working on such features and television shows as, big list, X-Men First Class, Iron Man 2, John Carter, Red Dawn. Well, clearly that's the problem with John Carter. Transformers 3, Harold and Kumar. So yeah, they've produced a lot of people who worked on a lot of things you've heard of. So, wonderful. Now we've learned everything there is to know about the Motion Picture Institute of Michigan and its clearly successful one-year degree program. I want to apply.
It's a good place to get a kickstart. But yeah, and you know what? We don't need to elaborate on this other one. But just to revisit Meat Pies for America. 16 days to go. One backer for $25 still.
Oh, he hasn't gotten any more money?
Well, no. His only reward has been taken. Now people are just giving you money with no rewards.
Oh, really?
Well, that's what it would be.
Oh, yeah. But
Remember?
nobody else is giving him any money?
No.
Oh, okay.
$25.
Yeah. All right.
But let's go to the new one.
The new one. This
I
one.
still feel a little bad about our Dragnet of Spies.
It's all in good fun, and he'll never hear it.
No, because last week's episode has 3 views.
See?
You know. But you're right in that you're trying to put your best work out there.
Yes, that was... I have produced a lot of shitty things.
I have as well.
I would... It can't help but come off as comparison, but when we launch our Kickstarter, I am not putting episode 1 and 2 on the Kickstarter.
No.
I will put probably our most recent episode on, because whatever episode is the most recent one we've done when I launched the Kickstarter will more than likely be our best episode.
I'm going to throw out the idea. Do we do a supercut episode where we take the best pieces of previous episodes?
Maybe
where
something
where
like
we
that.
do a best of.
Basically, a demo tape.
Essentially, because what are we saying? You put your best material forward.
So, more than likely, that's a good idea.
You know, we go back to the last 6-7 episodes.
We'll sit down and. Well, which means you'll have to listen to them all for the first fucking time.
I've listened to them.
No, you didn't. Last week we talked about these. You said I listened to the first couple and then I haven't listened to anything since. Because I heard them when we were doing it. I don't have to go back and listen. Motherfucker!
We need to go back. Hey, because if it's memorable, I'll remember it.
Bullshit.
I'm going to have to listen to everything at like double speed. Because otherwise, I mean, Jesus Christ, this is like 24 hours worth of stuff to listen to. I got better things to do.
You don't.
Than listen to our podcast. But we definitely got to get our shipping and receiving bit in.
Yeah.
Ship.
That's right, because I don't think those first 3 episodes, the first 4 episodes aren't on
No. Well, we'll
the
have
YouTube channel.
Here's what we have to do.
Especially episode 4, your favorite one.
What was that? Was that?
That's I Love Black People. You forgot.
I forgot. Because what did we talk about? We talked about Terrence Howard and...
We unintentionally talked about black people for an hour and a half.
Well, it was like actors and people.
Yes.
They just all happen to be African American.
So I called the episode "I Love Black People," and I cut that clip
like
from
Bill
Jerry
Cosby
Maguire.
and Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, I cut that clip from Jerry Maguire into the show open.
That's right. Was that one on there? Was that the first one?
No, it's not on our YouTube channel.
Good.
It's on my personal one.
Oh, that's even worse.
That's where I was putting them first.
We got what?
Episodes 5 through 13.
It doesn't show the episode numbers.
Yes, it does.
No, like when I view it here, it doesn't show the episode numbers. It has episode 3.
Oh, because it cuts off.
Because it cuts it off.
Well, it's your tiny ass phone. That's not. Rotate. Get a bigger phone, you fucktard.
Oh wait, here's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, see.
So episodes 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh, that's right. 3 is on. We didn't have an episode 5 because episode 6 was the search for episode 5. See, it's funny as fuck, isn't it?
You know what? We are funny. I don't think we're funny. I know we're funny. That is the name of our best of.
Yeah, we don't think we're funny. We know we're funny.
Fuck that shit. We know we're funny.
Fuck that. We know we're funny. That's it. Fuck that. We know we're funny. I'm going to call it that, too. I'll put an asterisk where the U is or something. You know?
We are funny.
Fuck that. We are funny.
All we have to do is go back all the previous episodes, listen to them at like 2 times speed, and just listen for laughter. Yeah. And say, oh, wait, we got to go back.
What was this?
What was this bit? Yeah. When did we crack up?
This whole episode has been a pretty good one. Oh, this is gonna be a long one today.
Yeah, no shit. That's why I think maybe editing some stuff out wouldn't be the worst idea. And also just to see if we could edit like a chunk out,
Yeah.
and if it still seems coherent.
Probably.
You know,
because we just randomly cut and go in different directions anyway.
Nah, yeah. That's why format doesn't have to be very strict.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Loose
it's
loose
like
format.
like I was even saying, it's like, we put together like a rough, format
Yeah.
document.
Yep.
I was reading a bunch of other stuff and suggestions, that people had online. And for a good chunk of them, I just looked at them and, bullshit. We are not fucking doing that.
We could have pre-production meetings.
No, it was even stuff. It's like, should keep them as short as possible. Fuck that. We're gonna go for 2 hours.
Dude, we do what the fuck I want. It's
We're
my
gonna-
show.
we're
You
gonna
can't tell me what to do.
We're gonna go for fucking 2 hours. We're gonna have no continuity. We're gonna go off script, off topic,
And it's
tangents here, tangents there.
And you're gonna like it.
And you're gonna fucking like it. We are not gonna have a scripted intro.
Sometimes we're gonna forget we didn't introduce ourselves until
Yeah.
50 minutes into the show.
Screw this shit. This show, it's just random.
That's why it's called That Damn Thing.
That damn thing.
What the fuck are you listening to? What is that damn
You
thing?
can't even name something like this. You can't call it a name. It's a thing. It's a concept.
It's a thing, man.
It's abstract. What is it? It's that damn thing. You gotta say it while shaking your fist.
That damn thing.
Oh, there we go. That's a logo.
A
That's
fist.
a logo of a fist. That damn
It's gonna
thing.
be like an old guy.
Oh.
Clint Eastwood.
No, I fucking like that. We gotta get a fist. That damn thing.
Oh, fucking Christ. So somehow,
Okay,
we're gonna circle back now to this week's Kickstarter
Wait,
of the week.
we're gonna circle back?
We're gonna circle
That's how
back.
ship came into being.
Oh, we haven't talked about that in forever.
Not since Mike was on the
If
show.
anyone listens to this now, they're gonna go, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, you need
Ship.
to go, that might not even be. Yeah.
That's on the Lost tapes.
That's
now.
on the little lost episodes. All of
They're not
these,
really lost. They're on my YouTube.
shit, all of our shows should be titled Lost Episode Number 1.
You know how many more views we're gonna get when people are trying to look up Lost Episode 1?
Yes, that's what we gotta do. Like all our, like if we do like bonus content, like
Yeah.
short little things. Lost Episode Number 1. That damn thing. Lost Episode Number 1.
Oh my god, we'll get so many more views.
That's
I'm-
awesome, though. You know what that is, ladies and gentlemen? Clever marketing.
Cleaver marketing, even.
Fuck off. That is an in-joke. But I still like to reiterate, Jason's an asshole.
At even present Jason. Present Jason.
Present Jason is an asshole.
Present Jason, past Jason, future
Past
Jason. We're-
Jason is barely tolerable.
Different iterations of him are dead. See, that's what's been happening. The other ones have died, and
Yes.
it's a parallel dimension
That is
version of me that has jumped in at the
You
last
only
minute.
have, what, 6 lives left?
Like 5.
5? Even less.
I think I've burned through 4.
So, ladies and gentlemen, subscribe while you can. Get your Jason merchandise while you can, because it may be a collector's item
limited edition.
sooner than you think.
While supplies last.
Oh, that's your shirt.
While supplies last.
While I last.
Get your Jason now. Supplies
No,
time's running out.
Your shirt is just I'm limited edition.
Time's running out. Get your order in now. I'm limited edition.
There we go.
Oh, so
All these little slogans that we've been putting together. You've said you've been writing them down.
kind of.
We'll have to kind of put together a list and rethink some of these.
Yeah.
Because I have been starting to do some like t-shirt stuff.
Oh, fantastic. For the most part, when I remember to write them down,
Yeah.
I do. So
Hey, back to Kickstarter.
this week's Kickstarter of the week.
Let's try to not be as
I'm not gonna be
as hate filled.
brutal. We were intrigued by the meat pies.
We were intrigued.
We were
by the
brutal
meat
to the Dragnet of
pies.
Spies.
We kind of were, but
This week, I've got nothing but respect.
Oh, really?
I am fascinated by this week's Kickstarter.
I am intrigued.
This one just drew me in. It didn't blow my mind,
Wait.
but it drew me in.
More so than the Tentacle board game?
Yes,
Oh,
yes, more so than the Tentacle board game.
we gotta look up that one too.
This week,
Revisit.
our Kickstarter is called The Naked Pixel.
The Naked Pixel. Okay.
Fine Art Nudes Collection. Emma Ann. By Mary and Josh.
Wait.
There's a lot of words there.
That's a lot
of words.
That's a lot of names strung together, and
Yeah.
I kind of got confused.
Quote, The Naked Pixel, unquote. Fine Art Nudes Collection,
Okay.
period.
Period.
Emma Ann.
Okay.
By Mary and Josh.
Okay.
The title is that whole first thing. I'm not saying it a third time. The first image I see,
I'm still trying to figure out who Emma Ann is.
I'm guessing the model.
Oh.
There's a graphic. This drew me in. I was intrigued.
That is a
naked,
attractive woman.
attractive ginger woman.
Yes.
Possibly real ginger.
From your
I can't
clan.
tell. Yes, from the Ginger clan.
Yeah.
She clearly got the better genes.
Clearly.
She's way prettier than I am. So, about this project. They have a lot of text. They also have a lot of pictures.
Wait a minute. If they have a lot of pictures, this project appears to be done.
No. They've received a couple pledges already. But we'll get into that. So, about this Kickstarter. Welcome to the Naked Pixel Project. A collection of fine art nudes by JLP. Now I'm confused. Because
was it
there was Mary and
Josh?
Josh.
JLP.
And there was Emma Ann, and now there's JLP.
I'm going to assume that's Josh LP.
Maybe? I don't know. We are currently working on a series featuring artistic nudes from 25 unique, beautiful models. We are here today to try and raise money to offset the cost of our next shoot that'll take place in April. This is the 4th edition to the Naked Pixel series, features a studio shoot with the beautiful Emma Ann.
I'm assuming the picture you showed me.
Yes, there are more pictures of her shortly. Put your glasses back on, because you're going to need them. We need your support to make this dream a reality. So please have a look at our project here on Kickstarter. Contributions of any size are greatly appreciated and welcomed. If you can't donate but still want to help, word of mouth is a great tool, so spread the word.
Okay. Well written, good stuff so far.
Yep.
Not asking for tons.
Once we've finished the series, our goal is to publish a coffee table style art book featuring never before seen images from the Naked Pixel collection. There will be an enhanced ebook version, an 8x10, and a 10x8 version, and a high quality limited edition 13x11. Why they keep using the sizes backwards is confusing to my brain. The timeline for the 25 installments are lined up for 2 new projects per month between now and October, or until we complete the last of the 25 editions. Each edition has its own rewards that were completed within the specific project timeline, blah, blah, blah. Your investment will be used to offset the cost of studio rentals, hair and makeup, paying the model for gracing us with her nude form, and of course, fulfilling my obligations to you, my backer. We're ready to start in the next installment, and with your continued support, we will push the project forward. Thank you for your pledges and support. Below are a few images from the shoot with Emma Ann. This is where I decided this was our Kickstarter of the week. Because there's picture number 1 of Miss Emma Ann.
Hey, Emma Ann and one of her girls.
Uniboob.
That is... I would have assumed some form of editing
Nope.
would have been involved.
Nope.
Okay.
Hence my attention.
Yes.
There's another picture of her.
In socks.
Yes, wearing socks.
Nope, that's fine. That's understandable.
Only socks.
Only socks.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. Again, I would have assumed some degree of editing going
Those
on.
are not socks. Those are like leather cowboy boots. They're all strappy and buckly.
Yes, they are.
Those were two excellent descriptions to.
Strappy and buckly. Yep.
Yeah, I couldn't think of two more better words.
Nope. Jangly.
Yeah. No. Strappy and buckly.
Nope. That is an apt description.
All right. Another picture.
Yeah, very nice.
Yes. And a final one.
Yeah.
And Joshua Lopez Photography, JLP.
Gotcha.
I don't know who Mary is yet, but apparently she's. This photo. Apparently there's another picture here that's still processing. I don't understand that. Below are a couple images from the past 3 editions of Naked Pixel to Wet Your Whistle.
To wet your whistle.
And I've done the hiccup thing on the podcast for the first time. I'm very upset by that. It's a random nude dark-haired woman.
Of somebody. That's not, that's a different person.
Different
That's
person.
not Emma Ann.
Not Emma Ann.
Okay.
Different. Here's a different one. She's blonde.
Yeah.
And here's another different one with a tattoo.
Emma Ann's the champ.
And Emma Ann wins. Yes. Emma Ann. Very much aware out of those 3. 4.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is a project I can get behind.
Absolutely. Now, this is the 4th edition.
4th edition. So this is their 4th go round.
All right, and the other 3 models that they've shown were the first 3 editions.
Yep, they've already shot.
They're already shot.
Yep.
Now, this is going to be part of one large collection.
Correct.
Each edition has not been published.
No, they have not published anything yet. They've been doing digital photography. They're looking to publish a coffee table book.
Very good. Okay.
From pictures from all 4 shoots.
Mm-hmm.
Just so happens they need money to produce the book and do this 4th shoot. So now they're doing a Kickstarter.
Understandable. You know what? I understand the costs behind all of this stuff.
Risks and challenges.
Mm-hmm. Is there like a punchline I'm waiting for?
Nope.
Something that's really just out of the ordinary or anything? Okay.
Not that I'm aware of yet.
Okay.
This, like I said, I can get behind this one.
Sure.
The risk with this particular campaign is minimal to none. Everything's already in place and ready to go. Experience is king. So once again, there's no risk to completing this project.
Apparently,
Emma Ann could not possibly get hit by a bus tomorrow.
Well, no. Here's what
they clearly have her.
Here's what they're doing.
Quarantined.
They are doing this project.
Yeah. Yep.
No matter what.
No matter what happens.
No matter what, they are just looking for money to offset what they're already doing. You know, it would be like, I am buying a house. I would like some money to offset some of my costs. Whether I get $1 or $100,000, I'm still buying my house.
Yep. So if you wish to pledge, holy shit, I'm not paying anything for this. All right. I accidentally clicked on it. It was like, give us money? No, back off. Pledge $1 or more, you get 5 high-resolution digital images in return.
There's already a bunch.
There's already 3 there for free.
Yeah.
But those aren't high-res. They're medium quality.
Good
enough.
You know what?
Good enough.
Yeah.
For $5, you get 30 high-res images. For $10, you get 60. For $25, somebody partook. You know, one person said, I want that.
Wait.
120 high-res images. For $25, one person backed that and said, I'm in. For 120 images. $50, one person also partook in that. They're going to receive 120 images plus a behind-the-scenes video of the photo shoot.
Okay.
Yeah. So they've received $75. They have a goal of $100. They have 29 days to go.
They're only looking
for $100.
For $100.
Yep. They've got 75 on their first day because they posted naked pictures of a girl who's hot.
Yes.
Mary and Josh look to be a happy photographing couple.
And this is their 7th Kickstarter that they've created.
Yep.
2 of them successfully.
Successfully backed.
$100. They are only looking
Yep.
for $100.
My name is Joshua Lopez. I'm going to read you his bio. He is a husband, a father, and a photographer. He has a really long bio. I'm going to read very little bit of it. He likes taking pictures. He wanted to be a photographer. Sometime around 2005, he got his real digital camera. Got his first DSLR in 2006. He likes taking pictures. Apparently his wife was down with taking pictures of nude women. He lives in Austin, Texas. Wait, he has backed 2 other Kickstarters. Holy shit. He has posted a lot of other nude women Kickstarters. He has made a significant amount of money. His previous one was just funded on April 9th.
Wait, that was like 2 days ago.
Yeah, the Naked Pixel Fine Art Nudes Collection. Again, he raised $660 based off a picture of that.
Is that the only one?
Yes, it's the only picture I can see right now because the project is over.
Ah,
It's very sad,
frustrating.
but I like that picture.
Uh-huh.
That almost wins over Emma Ann. I don't know, I'm torn. But he has made a history of successful nude women. He has 2 that have failed.
Probably his first 2.
No, first one failed. Then he had
Okay,
2
second-
extremely successful ones.
Hang on, that's okay.
Success.
Okay.
No, which one? $563,
Sure.
225% funded.
Okay, good.
He didn't have
Okay,
$725.
that one
That one
failed.
You know, and
Okay.
then succeeded,
Succeeded,
and then
the
well
process-
on his way to succeed.
what's the? Wait, scroll back. Can we find the timing?
April 9th of this year, March 3rd of this year, January 1st of this year, December 21st of last year. He has been doing this for 5 months on Kickstarter. One day he said, you know what? I'm going to take pictures of naked women, and I'm going to get people to pay me to do it.
And he's made a couple $1,000s.
We are in the wrong business.
Well,
Because I own a DSLR camera. And I do have an affinity for naked women.
all right. Now here
I'm 2/3 of the way there.
here's the problem.
Oh, there's a problem?
There's a problem. Our wives have been allowing us time to do this podcast.
Yeah.
They've been cool with it.
Yeah.
If we're gonna let them know, it's like, hey, we got another idea.
We're going to take pictures of hot naked women and sell them on the internet.
I believe our wives would kind of go with,
But if it made money,
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be an,
but you haven't asked yet. See, the trick to things like this is you got to do it. It's easier
Do
to
it
ask for
first.
forgiveness than it is for permission.
Do it.
That is my life's motto.
Do it first.
Do it
Hey,
first.
hey, honey.
Check out this check for $400 I got here. You know how I got this?
By spending $600 getting a model.
We paid this hot chick to take off all her clothes, and then we took pictures of her for like 3 hours and sold them on the internet. We're professional photographers now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the sudden cutoff of the episode. But we apparently have exceeded the file size of our episode.
Apparently, GarageBand has a limit on podcasting file sizes that we've never encountered
Yes,
before.
because we were recording for 2 hours and 15 minutes. And the computer went, no more.
No more.
So
I think what it was trying to tell us that our idea of taking pictures of hot naked women and selling our wives on it was a bad idea. That doesn't mean we're not going to still attempt it. Because What's life without some bad ideas? Because you know what? Future Chris and future Jason can worry about the consequences. Current versions of us, we're totally cool with it.
Worry
And then if
free.
it ever becomes a problem, fucking past Chris and past Jason, those guys are assholes. It's all their fucking fault. If they wouldn't have decided to take pictures of naked women, we wouldn't have these problems.
And sell them on the internet.
Exactly.
You know what? At one point in the world, that was called pornography. Now, it's an art project on Kickstarter.
Exactly. It's an art project on Kickstarter. It's not porn, it's art.
I love the internet.
It's not porn, it's art.
Well, either way, we have been recording for a long time.
Clearly, we're going to have to do some cuts on this episode.
Couple little edits.
Just a couple.
So
But-
I think it is fucking late too.
Yeah,
I
it
should
is.
get home before my wife is pissed at me, and then I will have to blame past Chris for recording too long. But right now, I'm concerned about future Chris.
Future Chris's future is in doubt right now.
20 minutes in the future, Chris. I'm not quite sure what's gonna happen.
Whatever it is, it's past Chris's
But
fault.
for right now, I got a 20-minute ride home that I can like leisurely take listening to the radio
Without a care in the
without
world.
a care in the world.
Once current Chris and future Chris meet, you'll deal with it at that point and blame everything
I
on
only have
past
to
Chris.
start worrying about it once I pull into the garage.
I gotta worry about it as soon as I walk upstairs.
Then I'm gonna sneak out quickly.
And I'm still gonna blame past Chris.
Chris wouldn't stop talking. Well, let us wrap this up.
Yes, we're done.
Thank you
It's
for
been
listening.
fun.
We are. This is another episode complete.
Yay.
Maybe we'll get our Kickstarter rolling one of these days.
Hopefully by next week. Then we can beg you money for real and you can actually follow through.
And then somebody can make fun of us.
Yeah, somebody can make fun of us
Yes.
instead of us making fun of other
Fucking
people.
present Chris and Jason. They don't know what the hell they're doing.
All right, we done.
We wrap.